Have you ever felt like you were losing pieces of yourself in a relationship? You can be deeply in love without abandoning your own voice. If you've ever felt like us meant losing you, this conversation is definitely for you. In this episode, I'll show you how to create elegant connection without guilt, walk away from emotional depletion, and reclaim your personal power, even in your closest relationships. Before we get started, I want to thank you so much for joining me here. I would be so honored if you would please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this episode with your fabulous friends who might find some benefit, insight, or entertainment from this content. This is a conversation, so please feel free to participate by leaving a comment so I can connect with you. Now, let's talk about it.
Becoming the magnificently empowered, strong, and gracefully, with poise and elegance endlessly. I am who I was born to be.
Welcome to Becoming Conversations in Elegance and Empowerment, where we explore living with purpose, grace, and confidence. I'm Senée Luchsinger, your host, author, and transformation guide. This isn't just a podcast, it's a conversation, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Visit becomingpublishing.com to grab your free guide, Exquisitely Dealing with Stress, and join the conversation by leaving a comment. Now, let's dive into today's topic. We're going to talk about how to be interdependent and have good cohesion in all your different forms of relationships. Boundary setting and enforcing is a key to living in peace in all areas of your life. When I talk about enmeshment with clients, they usually tell me they don't understand the concept, what it is, or how it can affect them. The results of being enmeshed is always a negative one. So let's get really clear on the concepts and what you can do to escape this bondage and have healthy, interdependent, cohesive relationships in every area of your life. Do y'all remember the Looney Tunes cartoon with Pepe Le Pew? And the way that it goes is there was a black female cat and she was walking underneath some painters and she got this white stripe painted down her back. Pepe took one look at her and didn't know she was a cat and was crazy in love with her. She, on the other hand, knew he was a skunk. So she tried to stay away from him as much as possible. But every time he got in close proximity to her, he grabbed onto her and you couldn't tell where he ended and she started. That is a perfect visual representation of enmeshment. So let's get into it. Now let me be clear, there is nothing wrong with being close with another person. It's actually healthy to spend time with another person and share experiences with them. That's what we call doing life together and being interdependent. It is toxic, however, if one person becomes controlling of another. Interdependence is a term used in marriage and family therapy that means all the parts of a family unit are interconnected. When one part changes, so will the other parts. Thus, change on any individual's part creates change throughout the entire system. It is possible to have cohesion without being enmeshed. Cohesion is the feeling of emotional closeness to others while maintaining a balance of separateness and connectedness. In fact, enmeshment leads to the opposite of cohesion. It leaves a person feeling smothered, controlled, manipulated, and not at all emotionally close to the person displaying these actions. Enmeshment focuses on togetherness only and often discourages an individual from having interests outside that relationship or being their own person. Do you know how to tell if you're in an enmeshed relationship? Dr. Tim Clinton wrote in Identifying Real Love that while we may call it love, enmeshment is actually smothering a weak, needy person with too much attention and direction, giving in meekly or defiantly to the demands of a dominating person, taking responsibility for another's choices instead of letting them experience the consequences of their decisions, losing your identity in someone else, being dominated by them, and taking on that person's emotions, values, thoughts, and behaviors, switching roles with your children and expecting them to meet your emotional needs, and building your relationship on power instead of mutual respect. If you've been mistaking counterfeit love for the real thing, then you need a breakthrough, a flash of insight, and a dose of courage to take action and change the status quo. A weak, misguided definition of love causes us to give in repeatedly, but a stronger, more accurate view of love directs us to speak and act wisely to address evil, manipulative behavior, Dr. Clinton wrote. What is a healthy definition of love? Dr. Clinton said you can spot real, true love by these qualities. True love offers a safe place to be you. It isn't driven by a desire to rescue, overprotect, control, or manipulate, or a need to perform. True love values the other person for who they are and celebrates healthy separateness. True love genuinely wants the best for the other person. It is grounded in our heart's desire to cherish, honor, and treasure another simply because of who they are. Again, we're talking about enmeshment. It's the lack of healthy separateness and outside experiences. When we drill down to the core of the problem, what we're really dealing with is control issues. Enmeshment can often be summed up as another person's desire to control someone else. This typically occurs because they have no control over their own world and inner peace. So they look outside themselves to find control that can only come from within. It is often cloaked in fear. Fear of losing someone's attention, love, devotion, servitude, etc. Another reason a person can display these behaviors is that they could have personality disorders or mental health issues that are undiagnosed or not being properly treated. In any case, it is unhealthy for anyone and everyone involved. Whatever we try to control does have control over us and our lives. Even if we could control things and people, even if we got what we wanted, we would still be ourselves. Our emotional states would still be in turmoil, wrote Melanie Beattie in The Language of Letting Go. Beattie is an author in the codependency recovery space and talks about control issues being a hallmark sign of a codependent. As I've stated earlier, interdependence and being interconnected are healthy. However, being codependent is completely the opposite. I've heard it referred to by some practitioners as self-love deficit disorder. Ernie Lawson, a codependency specialist and pioneer in the field, defined codependency as those self-defeating learned behaviors or character defects that result in a diminished capacity to initiate or participate in loving relationships. As I've often said, the great news about learned behavior is that it can be unlearned. When we're in a frenzied state, searching for happiness outside ourselves and looking to others to provide our peace and stability, remember this: people and things don't stop our pain or heal us. In recovery, we learn that this is our job and we can do it by ourselves using our resources, ourselves and our higher power, our support systems, and our recovery program, Beattie wrote. If you're in a relationship with someone practicing enmeshment, you may be able to establish some boundaries with them. This tends to work best with mentally healthy people and those who are in therapy or recovery program. It may not work so well with someone living a life full of toxic negative behaviors. You may have to separate yourself physically from them or greatly limit their access to you until they are healthy enough for the behavior to diminish. If you're in an enmeshed relationship of any kind, my advice to you would be what it always is. Love yourself first in a healthy way. Go to the kingdom within and know exactly what behaviors you are willing to accept and which ones you are not. Set clear boundaries and enforce them, and do what is best for you. Are you finding value in this episode? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Head over to becomingpublishing.com, grab your free guide, and drop a comment here to let me know what resonated most with you. Grab a piece of paper and a pen and let's do a short exercise. What behaviors from the person in my life are causing me distress? Make a list of all of them. Is there anything on the list that I have control over? Can I change any of them? If yes, list one thing you can do today to start the change process. Of these behaviors, are there any that I am willing to live with? If so, Make a list of them and how you can change your thinking or reactions to them. If no, these are your boundaries. You need to decide if you're willing to walk away, detach in love, or limit this person's access to you. Write down what that will look like. If you've decided that you may need to walk away from this person, close your eyes for a minute and just listen to me. Imagine what it would be like specifically for you to not have this person in your life on a daily basis. When you're with this person, how do they make you feel? Do you feel good, happy, and energized in their presence? Do you feel drained, anxious, emotionally or verbally beaten up? Think about if this person were no longer in your life, what feelings are you experiencing right now? Now open your eyes. You have all the answers you need to make the right decision for yourself. You don't need anyone's permission to take positive actions for yourself. Being in service to others does not mean that you allow people to mistreat you. It does not mean that you do for others what they are capable of doing for themselves. It means you show love to others as much as possible while guarding the kingdom within. That means analyzing and taking control of your thoughts, emotions, and actions. You are only responsible for your choices and no one else. Thank you so much for spending time with me on Becoming, Conversations in Elegance and Empowerment. Was there something in this episode that resonated with you? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you're ready to take your personal growth to the next level, visit becomingpublishing.com to explore my exclusive coaching programs and resources tailored for ambitious women like you. There you can also download your free guide, Exquisitely Dealing with Stress. If you found value in this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend who's ready to create the magnificent life and relationships they truly deserve. Until next time, stay elegant, stay empowered.
Becoming the